friends, and welcome back to my channel. I thought today I would do a little opposite, basically, of my current favorites video, where I talked about everything that I was loving lately and why I loved it, and I think today we're just gonna jump in with a things I am not loving lately video. I just feel like it's important to talk about the things that are good as well as the things that are bad. And this is gonna be primarily makeup and skincare focused, where like my current favorites video was favorite foods, Pepper. I swear to God, I bring out the tripod and she's just here, ready to mingle. This is definitely way more skincare and beauty focused because I have been doing Ipsy. If you follow me on Instagram, that you know I've been using Ipsy, making little videos about that every month. And I realized that I haven't really been reviewing very well some of the products I've been using on Ipsy, so this is also kind of a good chance for me to do that. As a little bit of a disclaimer, I would like to say that just because I didn't like these brands or they didn't work for me, doesn't mean that they are bad brands. What works for one person is not gonna work for the other person. I do have very sensitive, reactive, and combination skin. So it's very hard for my skin to find things that it likes, including makeup and skincare products. Keep that in mind. I'm not bashing these brands as a whole because I hate them. I'm just pointing out what did not work for me and why. I think the first one I'm gonna start with is a brand that overall has just really not worked for me, and that is gonna be Clinique. A YouTuber, brand owner, overall female badass that I follow on the internet, Sammy Robinson, she loves this brand. She loves Clinique. She talks about using the facial soap. She talks about the Moisture Surge is her current favorite, like her ultimate favorite from Clinique. And she talked about having very similar skin type as me, and so I thought that it would probably work. She said that she had combination skin with maybe some acne prone spots. And so I was like, okay, perfect. That sounds great. Like, that's exactly what I have. Why, of course this will probably work, whatever. And boy was I wrong. My friend Carly and I both got the liquid facial soap in mild because that was what was recommended on the Clinique website for if you have combination skin. I also did a bunch of research where I was like checking all over the internet to see what was gonna work, what worked best for combination skin, because if you don't know, when you have combination skin, it's kind of a mess. It's dry in some areas, it's greasy and oily in other areas, and my skin has also become acne prone lately. So I was trying to find something that was gentle, because I also have sensitive skin, and wouldn't strip my skin, but would just kind of round me out. And so I actually tried this a few months ago, and I really did give it a shot, because your skin can go through a purging phase, whatever. I tried it. Carly tried it. We both have very similar skin, and this broke both of us out badly. I got it along my hairline, forehead, and a little bit on my chin, and she got hers on her nose and cheeks mainly. It just didn't do anything, and I don't think it was because that this was like a allergy issue, because it is, Clinique as a brand is dermatologist and allergy tested. I don't think it was deep cleaning enough for what we needed. It definitely stripped my skin though, and I definitely got really dry and ashy, and it just was not what I wanted. The way that we got it is we purchased this, and then we got like a bunch of other little goodies that kind of came along with it. You can't have it. This is mine. It's not for you. So a bunch of little testers that come along with it, so you can kind of test some other products, and you got to pick what those were. So we also tested the Dramatically Different Moisturizing Lotion. This is the best, if you have combination skin, this is the best moisturizer to try for it. And so that's what we did. And apparently this is the kind that you can like get the Clinique jelly stuff also mixed into it. So Clinique does a thing where like you can get the base, like whatever the lotion is, and then you get the little cartridge that you insert into your bottle, and then it has like, it fights redness, it fights pores, it fights texture, like whatever it is. I used it with the soap like you were supposed to. It did nothing for me. I looked oily and shiny, but I didn't feel like there was any moisture really being given, and it just kind of sat on top of my skin. So then next, I'm gonna kind of do these guys together. So I have the Clinique Take the Day Off Makeup Remover, and then I have the Pep Start Eye Cream. And I'm not gonna talk too much shit about the eye cream because I used it, I tried it, and I just really didn't feel like it did anything. And I have that feeling with a lot of eye creams, is I feel like I use it, I give it a shot for like a month, and then nothing happens. And except for the one that I'm using right now, I really never had an eye cream that did anything for me. So I think eye creams are a little bit overrated a lot of the time. And if you watch Skincare by Hiram on YouTube, he'll tell you the exact same thing, where if you just pull your good moisturizer like around your face, like just up to your eyes, it'll help. And honestly, that's kind of how I felt, is this was just really light, didn't really do anything. The Clinique Take the Day Off makeup remover was not nice. I hated the texture. And my skin, again, really sensitive. Like I've never so sensitive. And this was gross. It was really, really oily, and I felt like I would use it to take my makeup off and then it would just sit on my face. Even after I would wash it, it would just sit there, and my skin felt oily for such a long time afterwards. So I honestly used this twice, which is why you can clearly tell that I did not use very much of this little bottle here. I used it twice because it just was oily and greasy, and it just sat on my face, and I did not like it at all. And last but not least, from Clinique is the 7-day scrub cream. So I think the reason it's called that is because it just has 7 days in it. And I didn't like it. I was using that Grown Alchemist manual exfoliator. I used it for probably a month. And it felt nice, it felt great right afterwards, but what I wasn't noticing was that my skin was red and inflamed and just really extra dry, and I just wasn't really paying that good of attention. And I have quit using that, and now I use a chemical exfoliant because that's much more gentle on my skin and my skin likes it a lot more. Food for thought. But yeah, I didn't like this stuff at all. The last thing I will say too about Clinique is that they are tested on animals. So I didn't know that when I initially purchased these products. I found that out later, kind of after I'd already stopped using them, but because Clinique is an international brand and they sell in China, they have to test on animals. So I'm not 100% sure how it all works, but from what I could tell from my research, China as a country still requires things to be tested on animals before the public can consume it. And so I'm sure there are certain brands that find ways around that, because I know some bigger makeup companies also sell in China and don't test on animals. So I'm not sure how that works, but that's the main reason that Clinique tests on animals. I'm gonna transition to makeup for a second. I actually got this, I think, from my last FabFitFun box that I got last year. It is the Beauty Crop Glow Milk. It's illuminating milk for face and body. And it's got coconut oil in it. So it's a very like liquid consistency. It's very, very liquidy, thin. And I will say this, that this is a gorgeous pigment. It's really pretty, it's got great shine, but the problem is it's not buildable, it's just intense and insane, and that's your only option. But I wanted to be able to build it better, so I want to be able to like, okay, yeah, sometimes I do want to look like I'm glowing from within, but sometimes I just want a really subtle little look, right? And with this guy, it was all or nothing. It was, you are glowing, you are on fire, or not at all. And that's just not really how I prefer to wear makeup. I like very buildable things so that I can use it every day and keep it really simple, or I can use it if I'm going out, back when that was a thing. This is only crazy, and I'm just not a huge fan of that. Yes, I got this either in my April Ipsy bag or the one before, I don't remember. But this was the Grace and Stella face mask. It's a mud mask, and I kind of should have known before I tried it that it was probably gonna be a little too much for my face, but I tried it anyway. I have mixed feelings about this because, again, my skin is very sensitive and reactive. So I put it on, it didn't sting or anything like that, which I always like, but it got really, really tight, which is probably just it drying. But then when I washed it off, I will say I did like that I noticed my pores did look cleaner, my skin was a little bit brighter, but then the next day, like after I washed it off and then did my regular skin routine, the next day I was breaking out like crazy. Like it was a very quick turnaround from when, oh yeah, I got the mask on, it looks great, whatever, to insane breakout spots all over the place. It cleaned my skin really well, but maybe pissed it off a little bit too. So again, I have very sensitive skin, and this maybe was just too intense of a mask for me. But if you don't have sensitive skin, then this might be something that works out well for you. Something that can just kind of dig in and make your skin better. And it also could have been a purging process. I totally get that that's also a possibility. But I finally have my skin, for the most part, calmed down. And so to try a product and then have an immediate breakout like that, I just kind of felt like it wasn't for me. I think this was also from April, is the Cosette Salt Body Scrub. And it has gray sea salt and bamboo charcoal in it. So you can tell that I really tried to give this one a shot. I used most of the product that was in here, whereas the mud mask, I only used it one time, so it barely looks like I touched it. And I have really dry skin, so like my face skin
is combination sensitive, acne proof, not acne proof. Acne prone, there we go, that's the right word.
Whereas the skin on my body is just dry. It's dry, it gets bumpy easily, it requires a lot of moisture and exfoliation, and I guess it is kind of sensitive because it's real pale, but other than that, like, it's pretty easy to take care of. And I do like to use a body scrub, like a sugar scrub or a salt scrub, because it really does help keep my skin from being too dry, too flaky, too ashy. So I gave this guy a shot, and I got a few thoughts on this. So you have to use a lot of product to get anything. So use a body scrub, right? You squirt it into your hand or you pull it out of like a tub, and then you want to be able to like kind of move it, right? Because you're going to use it to scrub yourself. With this, that wasn't the case. I put it in my hand, went to use it, and it was like a pretty decent sized dollop. I went to put it on my arm, and then it only went that far. And it didn't move around very well. It just kind of sat. And I also felt like there was not very much actual salt in this. So I was using it. There wasn't really anything scrubbing about it. Like, it did not feel like a scrub. And when I washed it off, it stained my shower. There's like still spots where it's like black in there. And then it didn't do anything for my skin. My skin did not feel exfoliated or anything. It just like kind of smelled like the scrub, which isn't bad. Like, the scrub smells fine, but wasn't really why you use a scrub, you know? So I don't know if the bigger like version of it works better. I don't know if it was because it was the trial size. I'm not sure, but it just didn't do what it was supposed to do. It didn't scrub, you know? We'll do this one next, because this was another one where like I didn't hate it, but I also didn't love it. And that is the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Water Gel with hyaluronic acid. So I basically bought this because the moisturizer that I use every day is the Grown Alchemist Hydro Repair Day Cream. And it sometimes is sold at my local Ulta, but sometimes they're out. They don't usually get very much of it, so I have to order it. And because I am a procrastinator, I don't order it until I'm out, which is not a great system, because then I have like 5 to 7 business days while it's shipping to wonder when it will get here. While I was waiting for that to get here, I got this at Safeway, just as a trial size, and I was not mad about it. It wasn't horrible, but I also wanted it to do more. I've tried a couple of the like water gel or like gel to cream products, and I just don't think that it works for my skin type. This was kind of the same. So I will say that like a little bit of this product goes a long way. So I appreciate that, because I do spend money on my skincare, so I like when I can kind of stretch out its life a little bit. And so it did that. It did not make my skin feel greasy or oily, which I like. I've had that problem with other gels in the past, but it didn't hydrate my skin the way that I wanted it to. So with a name like Hydro Boost Water Gel with hyaluronic acid, like, it's so important that you know that they put it on the front of a pot. I just didn't feel like it did that. Nothing about my skin felt quenched or plump or anything. It was just kind of annoying. It didn't give me a breakout, which was good, and it didn't give me like a rash or anything like that, but it just did not hydrate my skin. And when you are called hydro boost. I kind of assumed that that's what it's gonna do, and it just didn't do it. Not at all. It did nothing. Ah, yes. This is the Cottage Mask Micro Peeling. So it's basically, from what I can tell, a microderm abrasion that you can do at home. This was just not good. So it says apply to face, avoiding the eye area, leave for 10 to 15 minutes, rinse, use 1 to 2 times a week, avoid sun exposure for 24 hours. So I live in Oregon and I got this in like February, like I was saying. So the sun wasn't even a thing. It was February in Oregon, so it wasn't a problem. But I did it. I did the mask. I had clean skin. I waited 10 minutes. I rinsed it off. And my skin was like, let's say, probably like this color, like this red color, for a little over 48 hours. This one's probably on me because I keep saying like, oh, I have such sensitive skin, haha, like whatever. And then I was like, I can do a microdermabrasion facial at home, and you just can't do it. So if you would like to get one of those types of facials, just pay for it. Just pay for it, go to the place, have them do it, and then you can be done. This next one, I was really excited about, and then it just really wasn't what I needed. So this is the Kate Somerville Goat Milk Moisturizing Cream. And from what I can tell on the internet and in the reviews, it's pretty much, this is a product you either love it or you hate it. Like it either really works for you and it's your holy grail, you would live and die for this product, or it does nothing for you. I was definitely in the more of the it does nothing for me camp. I got this in an Ipsy bag. It's really expensive, so I didn't pay full price for it because I got it for Ipsy, but it's like a $60+ moisturizer. So I was trying it out and I was thinking like, okay, if this does work for me, then it needs to really work for me and do something amazing for my skin. Otherwise, I'm not gonna be paying $60 for it, especially since this is a full-size thing, and like let's see, how much is this? It's 1.7 ounces. So if you want me to pay $60 for 1.7 ounces of like cream, then I'm better be amazing. And I did give it a shot. It does smell good. It doesn't have added fragrance, but like just the fragrance of it is very gentle, very mellow. It didn't break me out. It did not give me a rash, which again, really appreciative when that happens. However, it didn't really do anything. It's very thin and very gentle, but it was not moisturizing enough for my dry patches. It kind of made my oily patches oilier, and I kind of felt like I needed to put more on throughout the day, if that makes sense. Like it's supposed to be a light moisturizer, so I get it, but it was too light. Another one that's kind of a cult favorite that I wanted to give a shot, again, I got an Ipsy bag, is the Tatcha water cream. It does smell very good, so I'll give it that. The texture and consistency is lovely. It's very like luxurious feeling, which for a full-size pot of this stuff is like $75 or in that range. So it better feel luxurious. Tried it, gave it a shot. Not a fan. It really didn't do anything for me. It did break me out a little bit, so along my chin, I got some acne, and then right, like I usually get like a couple spots like kind of here and then like in my hairline, and this did that. I also didn't feel like it was a good pairing with my face wash that I use every night, which whatever moisturizer I use needs to work well with my face wash because I love that face wash and it's amazing. But this, so I'd wash my face and then put this over the top, like after my face was dry and I did like my serums or whatever. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. It got pilly, so like I was rubbing it in and it just kind of like balled off my face. It didn't really sink into my skin. It just kind of sat on top of it so that I felt just kind of greasy and shiny. For such an expensive product, I kind of would have expected better. All right, I've only got 3 products left, friends. Thank you for powering with me. So this one I hated, and I will tell you why. So this is a eye cream, and it's Gold Fatten MD Bright Eyes Eye Cream. And it says on the packaging, problem for tired, like the problem that it treats is tired eyes, and it is for dark circles specifically, and has their patented like radiance concentrate. And I definitely have dark circles, it's genetic. Even if I get the best, most amazing sleep forever, I still get dark circles. And my main problem though, like, so yeah, obviously dark circles are an issue, but then so are like, I am already getting pretty, like the fine lines under my eyes that I don't love, but whatever. So I was like, okay, I'll give this a shot. Never hurts to try. But I didn't at first realize that that was what happened was the problem. But on both my eyes, right here, like kind of at the corner-ish in this zone, I was getting these weird little, they were slightly raised, so they were like slight bumps. And then they were like red, but not a pimple, because initially that's what I thought they were, and I attempted to pop them, but there was no head and I couldn't pop them. They were kind of sore, like, so almost like a sty, if you've ever had that, but it was like really outside my eye, and it really wasn't getting swollen like a sty, so I really wasn't sure what it was. So I quit using an eye cream and was like, I'll just let them breathe, and was just like putting moisturizer under my eyes instead. I have no idea what it was. I don't know what they were, but I haven't had that problem again since I quit using this stuff. So my best guess is it was an allergic reaction, but I truly don't know why. So this was something that I did not love. And part of it is probably because I already have a product like it that I really do like, and so this just didn't live up to that hype. But this is the REP, which stands for Real Elemental Practice brand, and it is the Nutrinature Ultra All Night Moisture and Relief Mask. So it's apparently formulated without all sorts of stuff that you're not supposed to have. And then on the back it says sleeping mask with moisture enriched soothing nutrients that work to treat your skin overnight. Anyway, I have a product that already does that, and I got this in an Ipsy bag, and so I was like, cool, I'll give it a shot, because my skin does sometimes just get like weirdly dry, even in the summertime, and I just do that mask. Like, it's like a moisturizer, I just put it on overnight and I wake up and the problem is solved. But this guy was weird. So first of all, it left a residue on my pillow, which is not good, and it left a residue on my face. So when I put it on, I assumed it would take a couple of minutes to sink in, because the other one that I have does. So like, you put it on and then you wait like probably 5 minutes, and then you can't feel it on your face anymore. But this just, I kept feeling it on my face, and I was sitting in bed like watching TV before I went to sleep, and I could just feel it sitting on my skin. So I could, like, if I reached my hand up to touch it, I was like, okay, I can feel the product coming off of my face onto my fingers, so that's a no-no. And then I was like, whatever, it probably is just even thicker, it just takes a longer time to sink in. So then I went to bed, and I woke up the next morning and there was residue from it on my pillow. It was still, I could still feel it on my face, and my skin felt just gross. And then last but not least, we have the vitamin C face scrub from Elizabeth Mott that I didn't hate, did love. It does smell really good though, so I will give it that. And it's another one of those that has like little beads in it, right? So it's got a tiny bit of that, but then it also has chemical exfoliants in it. Rub it on casually, like any other face scrub, I'm assuming. I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it. Like, I don't know, this was kind of a weird one for me, and I tried it a couple of different times to make sure that I didn't hate it or that I didn't love it, because I was kind of feeling so weird about it. So on the front of it, it says feel the heat. That's how you know it's working. And when they say heat, they mean heat. So I put it on my hands, my face was damp, I worked it in, and just a couple of like motions of doing this, I felt how hot it was. And it wasn't just like warm, it was like hot. It honestly kind of felt like a sunburn, and so I like slowed down and just kind of casually did it and didn't do it as vigorously, and it was really, really warm. So I washed it off because it was like uncomfortably warm on my face. Like, I didn't like it how warm it was. Just kind of rinsed it, hoped that was helping it. And then I did notice that like the next morning my face was a lot more red. Like it was, my face is usually kind of red when I wake up in the morning. It's just how my skin is. But this, it was like a lot more red than usual. My skin felt drier than usual, even though after this I followed up with my regular moisturizer, my Grown Alchemist one, and it just was not the same. And I didn't use it for a few days, letting my skin get back to normal. And I tried it again and the exact same thing happened. So it didn't give me a breakout, which was good, or a rash, but it definitely was too much for my sensitive skin. Alrighty, and that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I will link all these products down below in case it actually sounds like something that'll work for you. And any other products that I mentioned in this video that I like, that I use all the time, I will also list those down below, just so it's all in a list for you. If you like these kinds of videos, let me know down below. Let me know what else you want to see from me. And yeah, I think that's it. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.